All right, y'all. So now let's get to our final topic. Topic. Let's get to our final topic, and let's talk about Slayyyter, who is opening up about why she feels grateful for having a full Leviticua fan base. She loved the gays, but she said, "Don't be out here thinking like I just be pandering to the gays like some of these other pop stars do." Because quiet as it's kept, there are a lot of them out here who sit up here and literally gaslight and pander to the homosexual community, and it do be feeling like pandering. So Slater, whose real name is Catherine Grace Garner, expressed love for her Leviticua Plus fans after debuting her single Crank at Grindr's Pleasure Ball in New York City. I do love that song, by the way. I have to say, so far, I'm liking this era of her. Like, she was doing sort of like that glam girl with the visuals, but was giving like that dance pop stuff. Now it seems like she's kind of giving a little more of that aggressive, edgy hyper pop type sound. A lot of guitars, a lot of like, it feels a little dirty and gritty and nasty. That's how I like my electronic music. But anyway, the pop star, who's 29, is in the midst of a new music era and recently debuted her latest single, Crank, live at the queer-centric connection app Grindr's Pleasure Ball in New York City on October 23rd for a rowdy crowd of predominantly Levitical plus people, a fitting place given her listener base. She said, quote, "I feel like this is a space where my music lives and thrives, and I feel grateful to always perform in those spaces." This is what she told people after the event, which saw her scream the gritty pop banger in front of a large phallic statue. Oh. She said, "I was going to wear antlers, but they were giving me a migraine." She recalls of the performance. So I was like, okay, no antlers. And then I was like, honestly, that's better. You can get a better view of said phallic statue. It all worked out. Now, since hitting the scene in 2018, Slayyyter has garnered a largely Leviticua Plus fan base with confident, high energy songs like Daddy AF and Miss Belladonna. And she's very grateful to have naturally connected with with the demographic. She said, "It's not something I ever pandered to or shot for or tried to do. I actually kind of take issue with some artists that shoot for that fan base too much. That feels a little weird to me." It also feels a bit disingenuous because I always say, like, if you really for the gays, if you really for making music and the community gravitates towards it, then that's a plus. But I'm not literally out here talking about, oh, this is for the queers and the gays, and if it wasn't for the gays, I wouldn't have an audience, and blah blah blah, so on and so forth. And there'd be some girls that fix their mouths to say that and be performing at some of the Pride events, but then be calling us all kinds of sissies, punks, and F words, rhymes with maggots. So I like the fact that someone's out here literally saying, like, yeah, it's not necessarily the community I strive. I mean, like, I pander my music too, but since I know the gay community likes my music, or the LGBTQ plus, if you want to say that, then I'm all for I love the love regardless. And the gays, once upon a time, like back in the day of like the 90s and into the 2000s, we were the movers and the shakers of what was a hit and what wasn't a hit. And a lot of those songs were determined by the club kids. Now it's kind of hard because the climate has changed so much. But when you're making certain types of music and you're performing in certain places, definitely the gays will gravitate towards that type of genre, particularly if it's electronic dance music. Slater went on to say, she said, "I think my music has landed in these spaces because I genuinely have loved and adored pop music since I was very young. I feel like a student of pop music and a champion of it in the same way that people in all queer spaces are." And that's why when I've always talked about certain artists who, there are people out here who shy away from the word pop or pop music, or they feel like, oh, they won't take me seriously if I make pop music. Here's someone who embraces it, who doesn't shy away from it. And I think that's what made me like her even more. Like, pop is not a dirty word. Making pop music is not taboo. That is something that should be celebrated. And if you actually take different genres and you put a serious spin on something that should be fun, like pop music, which basically just means popular, and you get to experiment in different genres and mismatch and all that other stuff, then that's cool. And she said, and not to be the girl who's like, my friends were gay guys in high school, super annoying, but they were. She said, recalling her teenage years spending time with friends in St. Louis and listening to Lady Gaga's art pop, Marina's electric heart, and other music that many queer fans connect deeply with. I will say this, Marina does make some good damn music. Shout out to her. Even her latest album, I'm liking. Speaking of which, you know whose album I'm absolutely loving right now? There's this artist, she released her 5th album called Austra, Austra. Oh my god, I have fallen in love with her new album. I cannot believe how much I like the record. First of all, let me find out because I totally forgot what the name of the album is. But oh, it's called Chin Up Buttercup. So if you have not heard that album, I implore you to listen to it. It was like it's electronic music, but she's like experimenting like with her voice and the production and all this stuff. Like I listened to that. I don't know. One day I was just like, I just came across my thing and when I was on Apple Music, and it was like late. I think it was like literally after I had worked the UFC fight. So I was like, it was like literally 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And I was like, oh, let me just listen to something different. So I just put that on. I was like, okay, this is definitely giving me the vibes that I need right now. So if you have not heard that album, definitely check it out. But anyway, let's get back into this. She said, I never try to have my music land here, but I feel so happy and grateful that it has, just because I feel like queer spaces are the true appreciators of pop music and are. Grinders Pleasurable also saw the erotic electronic artist, I love that song by the way too, reunite with Scissor Sisters' Jake Shears, who also performed at the event after she spent July opening up for the band and Kesha on her Tits Out tour. It was really nice to catch up with Jake backstage too, just because I hadn't seen him in a while. This is what she said. Her performance at the event marked one of her first since launching into a new era with recent singles Beat Up Chanel's Cannibalism and Crank, which I would say so far, all 3 singles I'm absolutely loving. Her first releases through a major label after signing with Columbia Records imprint earlier this year. And yeah, she started out as underground and independent, and now she's signed with Columbia. Hopefully, Columbia will do her right, but if they don't, sis, go back to being independent. She said each song is definitely different from each other, but I feel like they all have a bit of cohesion and they all represent the different sonic vibes on this album, which is supposed to appear on her upcoming third full length body of work. I feel like Beat Up Chanel's and Crank are both a little more aggressive, but Cannibalism still has this punk, cramps, psycho Billy vibe. Now, Slater may have performed at the Pleasure Ball, but she doesn't have a profile on the Grinder app itself. If she did, however, what would her bio say? She said crank it, and then it would say 5'2". Sorry. Well, first of all, why would girls be on Grinder? I mean, it's a whole meat fest over there. Well, sidebar, I wouldn't know because I deleted Grinder. It's a whole cesspool of mess and ads over there, so I don't even mess with that mess. I mean, maybe we need to ask Moses Mike Johnson what his grinder profile would say. But excuse me. Shout out to Slater. You know, I live for her. I live for the music, and I'm definitely looking forward to what she's gonna bring with this new album because I'm liking the song so far, and I've liked all her earlier stuff, like Daddy is Fucking all those songs, and plus her, from her last album, I liked a lot of the music from that which was more fully realized. I also saw her when she performed at Brooklyn Steel. So she's definitely the real deal. And she's definitely got, a diamond in the rough that has the potential of becoming like a pop icon. If she plays her cards right, because Britney done vacated that space, so we need a new girl. Just don't fall in them same pitfalls. So I'll say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story in regards to what Slater had to say regarding her gay fans? I totally agree that I don't like when we have these allies who like to pander to us. It's like if the music naturally progresses and we feel it and we give it the seal of approval, then that's great. Jump on the bandwagon, but don't literally make songs where you trying to pander to us because you want brownie points. Because we see through the bullshit. Well, at least I do. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below.